The reason why this is so exciting is many of you wouldn't know, but Malcolm Payne, this guy here, was an absolute legend in his time. And he and his partner Vic Ruth really paved the way for our industry and where we are today and some of the great things that we've got going on. So I've got him here just for 2 seconds to ask him, what do you believe are some of the critical things that a business owner can do in their business today that's going to help them get better results than they're currently getting? What would you say?
Well, it's pretty simple. There's an old definition of insanity, and it says if you keep doing the same thing and expect a different result, you're insane.
True.
So anyone who's watching this and wants to get a better result, as in growing, then you've got to firstly, you want to do it. You've got to want to do it.
Yeah.
If you don't really want to do it and you're happy in your own practice, that's it. But if you really want to do it, then there's a number of things you've got to do. A lot of people give good advice, but one size doesn't fit all. It's as simple as that. So what you've got to do is access good consulting advice. You need someone to help you. In our day, we went the whole hog and put on a board of advice because you couldn't trust ourselves to do it. We didn't have anyone to make sure we followed through. So to me, if I was out in the market today, I'd go and get access to someone like Kim, someone who is au fait with all the current requirements. And as we spoke last night, I don't understand all this Twitter and all that stuff. I understand the necessity of it. So if I was going to recommence today, I'd go and talk to somebody like yourself to say, in marketing today, how do I bring in all these Facebook and Twitter and Sign In or Ledge In or whatever you call the thing?
LinkedIn,
even the fella. But I would have to go and get someone to do it. You've got to formulate a business plan. You keep saying it time and time again, haven't got time. Well, you won't make it if you haven't got a track to run on. And the track to run on, to ensure you don't get outside the parameters, of which means success is built upon, you've got to have a business plan. And to do it, you've got to commit and you've got to have someone to help you hold your hand and walk you through it.
What about those who are a bit bigger and they can afford or they have the scale and capability to put on an advisory board? What's your advice in that respect? How would you go about doing it, especially for those of you who don't have one today?
Oh, you've got to find the right people. You've got to choose someone who's going to chair it, who you've got a lot of confidence in and who you trust. Then you've got to have people on there that are skilled in finance. You've got to have people on there who are skilled in marketing, and people who can help you go to the next step and the next step and the next step. And some of those exist in your top end of your client base, and some of those are people that you've known on the way through. And it's a progression, but the way to do it is step by step. And again, if you've got good advice, if you've got a good inverted commas coach, they'll assist you in doing this as to who are the right people to fill this void.
Okay, so that's great advice for those who want an advisory board, or if you're not ready for that, at least getting yourself a coach. It was interesting because when I was 15, Dad took us to dinner one night and I'd been watching him in his business and I didn't know a lot about what he did, but I was pretty impressed with the lifestyle that he lived. So as a young 15-year-old does, to really get on the good side of her father, I said to him, if I wanted to work in your business one day, how would we work it? How would it operate? And he said to me, and he doesn't remember this, but he said, Kim, you'd have to learn to type. And I was dead set mortified because I was thinking type. And I said to him, why would I need to type? And he said, because all my secretaries need to be able to type. And I remember so clearly from that day thinking, I'm not going to be your secretary. I'm going to run the business, and one day I'm going to get you to do some work for me. And you are now witnesses. He is doing some work for me. So this is a pretty cool moment in my life. Unpaid, absolutely. I've got to cook him lunch though. Anyway, on that note, because you were so good at what you did in your day, what do you think if you went back today that you would do differently? So whether it's something that you did as an advisor, maybe something as a business owner, but what would you do differently that you think business owners today need to be really up in the ante in this space?
Oh, I wouldn't have wasted the first 4 or 5 years. I suppose you learn a lot in the first 4 or 5 years. You learn the ability to sell, you learn the pitfalls, some of the pitfalls that confront you, but if I had it over again, I would have got good advice very early once I knew what I really wanted to do. And I had a good idea what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go on the pension in those days. I didn't want unemployment benefits. I wanted good cars and good lifestyle, as you said, and all that. But to do that, I had to have a good business. And it wasn't until Vic and I really got together with an old chap called David Hay, God bless him. He didn't last with Vic and I all that long because we pushed the accelerator a bit hard. But we took all that experiences and we broke the mould. And you've heard me talk about it before. We broke the mould and were prepared to pay for the best and to get the best. And that's what I do. I would.
Got it.
Now I'm going for a beer.
All right. Thank you, Malcolm, Dad, to me, for doing this. Absolutely grateful. And for those of you who want more and want to pick his brains further, well, virtually anyway, I did a full 1 hour interview with him and I got him to sit still for an hour and quiz him on more of the type of questions I've just been asking today. So if you want to get yourself a copy of that, then just go below this video and find out how you can do it. Eternally grateful, not only as my father, but for all your words of wisdom and for being here sharing this today. Thank you.
Good on you, dear.